This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, thank you, Mr. Announcer, and thank you for tuning into the Farm Monitor, your weekly source for everything related to Georgia Ag. Formal introductions, I am Ray.
And I'm Kenny. Like we've been saying for over half a century, we got a great show for you. Coming up, no doubt the late Tommy Irvin will be proud of this. Damon Jones with an in-depth look at a new facility that bears the name of the former Ag Commissioner and how it's helping students at one Georgia college prepare for the future. Also on the program, now retired, former ABAC president Dr. David Bridges sits down with Ray and discusses some of his fondest memories at the school and why he feels there's no better time than the present to pass on the title to someone else. And then later, if the Monitor is in Panama City Beach, Florida, that could only mean one thing, the annual Southern Peanut Growers Conference. John Holcomb on what experts say could be the future of the peanut industry. These stories and so much more start right now on the Farm Monitor.
With the calendar now saying August, universities throughout the state are now preparing to welcome students back to campus. And one college in particular is looking to steer some towards their recently launched agricultural program, which now features brand spanking new facilities. Damon Jones has the story.
While South Georgia might be responsible for most of the production agriculture, the state's #1 industry has a far-reaching impact that extends up north. And it's the reason North Georgia Technical College felt it was so important to start up an ag program 3 years ago.
The area that we have around here has a huge tax base in agriculture, and it is a large part of the industry in this area. So it just makes sense that we would provide an opportunity for the students in this area to get an education and have the opportunity to go in that career path if that's what they wish to do.
And to make it a viable option, the school believed it had to have more than just classroom learning.
So many colleges and schools now have the classroom piece of it, they have the theory piece of it, but don't have the hands-on piece. So I think it's so important that our students have something they can actually work with, get their hands on, get involved with, and see how it actually functions. It also gives our students an opportunity to do research and to find out how to answer those questions. We live in a knowledge-rich environment. The question is, do we know what to do with that knowledge? Can we process that knowledge and then make good decisions based on that knowledge?
And to encourage that type of learning, North Georgia Tech recently constructed a pair of new buildings thanks to a generous donation from the family of the late Georgia Ag Commissioner Tommy Irvin that houses the aquaponics and hydroponics curriculum. And so far, the students have been very impressed.
They love it. They love to come down and be active. They love to get their hands on things. And I think one of the aspects they like the most is that they learn about it in the classroom and then can come apply that knowledge in the real world setting. So it just makes the educational cycle a little more complete for them.
Starting up the hydroponic program is continuing a trend of growing food in a limited space, which has really come to the forefront due to recent world events.
One of the things that we hope happens is that our students learn the importance of small food production. So we see even in this COVID environment and post-COVID environment the need to have more locally sourced foods, locally grown foods. So it gives our students an opportunity to learn the process of how to grow their own sustenance instead of having to rely upon somebody else.
And this is just the beginning, as North Georgia Tech is already looking to expand on the already impressive array of programs they offer to prospective ag students.
What we would like to see is to have a diversified program, even more so than what we are now. We currently have a full-blown horticulture program, environmental sciences with the aquaculture. We have aquaponics and hydroponics growing. We also have a 9-acre research field that we use and a 3.5-acre deer plot secure area with an 8-foot deer fence. So we can do all kinds of research there. So the next thing we'd like to do is add the animal component so that we can really kind of have a fully diversified program so that students can experience all areas of agriculture and see what doors that might open for them for a career path later.
As for what type of student they are looking for,
well, if you enjoy plants, animals, or people, this is the place to be. As a career path, there are lots of opportunities for you in this area. It may be industrial, it may be in management, or it may be in production. So there's so many doors that can open through this process of getting a degree in agriculture, horticulture, or environmental sciences, and we would just love to have students come and explore and see what those are.
Reporting from Habersham County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Meantime, the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture is developing a new app that Daniel Malloy, executive director of the foundation, says will automatically connect users with agricultural venues such as U-Pick operations or farms that host school field trips or interested families. Additionally, the app will be geolocated so its users can find venues that are close to them. Malloy says any farm or agritourism stop that welcomes visitors should submit their information. To register, just go to farmtrailapp.com.
The Georgia Forestry Commission has a new partner. They've joined forces with the Vector Center in hopes of preparing future military veterans for a career in welding.
Within our Forestry Commission's fabrication shop, we're responsible for building fire trucks, handling all frontline equipment that needs to be repaired. My name is Ken Kuiper. I'm the fabrication shop supervisor. It's been asked of us by the Vector Center of Warner Robins, Georgia, to partner with them in a job shadowing project. We have taken our full-time fabrication welders and given them the opportunity to be crew leaders. So the 10 students that I have from the Vector Center, we've divided them up, assigned them a crew leader.
It gives them a place to come and get practical on-site learning. So if they're in here welding, we can kind of give them some tips and tricks that we know, and they can learn from that.
Oh, welding's fun. It's like a little video game challenge every time, just being under the hood, just the tint just changes the color of the spark, and you're just laying down beads, and it's awesome.
This experience that we're doing is going to help giving us confidence basically and being able to weld on something different than just what we do in class.
I think it's really important that they're here learning this trade itself, because welders and fabricators especially are in high demand.
I kind of want to make it into a business, so whatever I take from here and from school, I can incorporate it back home, and what I learn here is valuable.
This is hands-on, real deal work these guys are handling, so it's a win-win situation for both teams.
After the break, for nearly 2 decades, he was at the forefront of ABAC's rapid growth and development. But now, former president Dr. David Bridges has officially handed over the reins. The advice he has for his successor when the Farm Monitor continues.
As I travel this great country, I get to experience the people that live within it, in rural communities and in our cities. And I know, and it is clear to me, that there's one piece of legislation that makes a huge difference in all of our lives, and that is the Farm Bill. In the Farm Bill, it provides food for the hungry, the most vulnerable in our population. It also provides farm programs that helps our farmers have a pathway to being successful and providing for all Americans to have a full pantry. And then, of course, it's there to support our rural communities. Our American farmers and ranchers, they're working hard every day to make sure that they grow enough food for all the American families and a lot of families all over the world. And the Farm Bill helps us deliver that through what we call the nutrition program. The nutrition program is there for the most vulnerable segment of our population. The Farm Bill also provides protection for our food system, and it does it in many different ways. One of those ways is through farm programs. The Title I gives farmers an opportunity to get through very difficult marketing times. And then there's risk management tools there for our farmers to participate in to make sure that they protect their crop against natural disasters and many things that's out of their control that might happen to that crop on their farm. And then, of course, we want to talk about conservation, because sustainability is something that farmers and ranchers have been working on for decades, and they've done it through conservation programs in the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill also brings great support to our rural communities. If you look at the rural communities across this country, it is driven by the economy around agriculture, and all those businesses in that community supporting agriculture and that economic engine. So it is important that we continue to focus on how we take our communities forward. One way we can do that is through broadband. We need broadband to bring our young people back to our rural communities, give them a future there so that they can work in and around the businesses that support agriculture. And then we need to make sure that our farmers and ranchers have the ability to take advantage of the technologies that are coming to them. And let's come together and make sure that we refresh and renew this great piece of legislation that's been in works for many years and has been very successful. Think about what this bill really means to our country and what it means to the people that are most vulnerable, what it means to a secure food system, what it means to revitalizing our rural communities. The Farm Bill is crucial to making sure that our food system is secure, because our food system is our national security. Let's modernize it and renew the Farm Bill.
Well, a new era has begun at ABAC. On August 1st, the school officially welcomed new president, Dr. Tracy Brundage, who replaced longtime president, Dr. David Bridges. Dr. Bridges making his retirement official a day prior on July 31st after spending 17 years at the helm. In an interview that originally aired in December, Dr. Bridges and I touched upon the many changes ABAC underwent during his tenure, his plans for the future, and maybe the most important topic of all, why retire now when the school's popularity and enrollment is at an all-time high? So I want to start with a sports comparison. The great John Elway wins back-to-back Super Bowls, retires. Peyton Manning wins his final Super Bowl, retires, goes out on top. Is that the case here, Dr. Bridges? Because I know when I read the release that you were retiring, I'm like, why? ABAC's at the top of its game. He's got this place reeling right now. Why leave? Because is this the perfect time to leave then?
Well, as I told the chancellor, she sort of asked me the same question. And I said, well, there may never be a good time, but it's the right time.
Right.
And so I'm in my 16th year. I feel like we have accomplished a great deal. I think we are in a good place. I think the college is in a good place. And it has more to do with, I still enjoy the job. I could stay here 3 or 4 more years and it wouldn't bother me in the least. But I have another equal passion that I need to devote more time to, and that's the Center for Rural Prosperity and Innovation.
Okay.
And I can't continue to work at the pace that I've been working the last 3 years, doing both.
Right.
And so I think it's ultimately this ride as president has to end, and now's the right time and move on to another pursuit.
You were recently quoted as saying the greatest challenge for the administration at ABAC is to change the things that need to be changed, but keep the things that need to be kept to make it ABAC.
Right.
Elaborate on that for me. What is ABAC to you?
Yeah, so, you probably know I attended ABAC as a student. And I still see a great deal of the attributes of the college that I attended in the 70s that are still present. Small, caring, safe. Okay, tell me about your experience at ABAC. Most will tell you they made lifelong friends. Quite a few will tell you they met their spouse.
Sure.
Those sorts of things. So I think there are a number of features of the college that make us who we are. Rural, caring, safe environment, place where people have names, not numbers, a place where the president, the vice presidents, and the leadership team eat in the dining hall, not in a faculty dining room, but at tables with students. So I think my comment there, and I've been making that comment since the day I arrived here, is we don't need to change things for the sake of changing things, but we do need to change those things that are required for us to continue the legacy of experience. We had to move into being a boutique, baccalaureate institution with excellent programs, but you can't be everything to everybody.
Right.
And so that's I said that then and I still say it now, and that will probably be the only piece of advice that I will give the incoming president, and that is, run it the way you wish to run it, the way you think it needs to be run. But remember, try to keep in place as many of those things as you possibly can that define what ABAC has been for 113 years.
Years as the president, longest serving tenure of all the 26 Georgia institutions. I am sure, I would pretty much bet my next paycheck on it, that over the years you have had people come up to you, David, why don't you come work for us? Yeah. But yet you stayed. Yes. What kept you coming back?
Well, I love the institution. My heart's here. I started here. I got 2 degrees at Auburn and 1 degree at Texas A&M, and I spent 20 years at UGA. So I got lots of places that I can have loyalties, but my real loyalties lie right here. I mean, they're at ABAC. Number 2, I don't, not to brag, but I think I've been a pretty good fit for the institution. I'm an agriculturalist, a rural guy, and that's who we are. And so I think I've been a good fit. And yes, I've had other opportunities, and it's decided that this one was the one I would continue to do.
Yeah, and you look at your overall body of work. What are you most proud of? Is it the fact that you went from a 2-year school to a 4-year school? Is it, the record number of enrollments that you guys get every year? Is it keeping the South Georgia kids in South Georgia? What are you most proud of?
Well, I've said in quite a few interviews that the thing that I'm proudest of is that we accomplished the transition from being a 2-year college to 4. I think most people outside the world of higher education, and in fact many people within the academy, don't understand what that entails. Yeah. I mean, it is a change of everything. Culture. It's a change of who you recruit. It's a change of who you hire as faculty members. Your goal becomes different. When you're a 2-year institution, you're just trying to get people out of high school, get them settled into a college routine, get a foundation, and get them ready to move on to another institution to complete their degree. When you're a 4-year institution, it's about finishing the job. Right. And making sure that student that graduate can find a place in the world, hopefully be gainfully employed and contribute to their community. So that's probably the accomplishment-wise, that's the one that I would point to.
Incredible man. We certainly wish Dr. Bridges the best. Up next, a trip to Panama City Beach and the Southern Peanut Growers Conference. Our focus, carbon credits. What are they? How do they work? And what they could mean for the future of the peanut industry.
My name is Brett Saws. I'm with Saws Partnership from Shellman, Georgia. We plant corn, cotton, peanuts, soybeans, and wheat. I grew up on a farm. I'd come help whenever I could, and I remember seeing my dad, and I'd ride the tractor with him all the time, and I liked it, but I didn't love it until I got to college, and when I was at Auburn, I was going through classes about the sciences of it, and that's when I really started to love it. And that's when I came back. And growing up on the farm, that's what you know, and doing it while you're growing up, you learn to love it. And I just really enjoy the science of it and trying to make plans for the future and what needs to go here and what it'll affect down the roads. Out of the 8,000 acres on our farm, about 90% of it's irrigated, and we have soil probes from Valley that we have in the field that'll tell you the moisture levels in the field, and that's how we monitor and know when to irrigate and how much it needs. Most of my concerns right now obviously go with the prices of everything. You got your fertilizer, all of your input costs, but then what the market is going to bring for your yields that's always a concern as well. Your rain, you never know when it's going to rain, if you get enough or not enough, or the weather in general. Another thing is consumer education. You see everything now, everybody talking about how they need to be non-GMO, but nobody really knows what a GMO is. So I'd like to see the public educated more and know what it takes to grow what they're having. For young farmers, I'd say really pay attention to what everyone else is saying, go to meetings, learn, absorb all the information you can, study, because there's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people don't realize.
Finally this week, few things could pull peanut producers away from the daily grind of growing season. However, they also know the importance of networking with other growers and hearing from other experts in the field of agriculture regarding important information about their livelihood. No better place for that than our next destination. John Holcomb reports.
Sand, salt water, and sunshine. All things peanut growers got to enjoy in Panama City Beach, Florida recently as they attended this year's Southern Peanut Growers Conference, a time of fellowship and fun that at the same time allows them the chance to hear from various industry experts on a multitude of topics surrounding the peanut industry they can take back to their operations.
This is a conference we've been doing for over 20 years. We generally have 400 to 600 people here. The families seem to love it because of the beach availability for the children and the spouses to go and enjoy a bit of a mini vacation away from home. But it's also very informative, and the information is brought forward here, and we try to break it up into some sessions where you get education and in free time for your family. In a world in which information is readily available, but many times we're too busy to go seek out the latest and most helpful information there is. And at this conference, we try to get the speakers that are talking to the things that are pertinent, the things that are practical that we can utilize, and the things that will help advance us in our profession and keep us going.
The theme of this year's conference, Together Towards Tomorrow, a theme that's meant to show a united industry in a changing world. And while at the conference, attendees got to hear how the world is changing in the form of action on climate change, in which they got to hear from the USDA's Alan Torbert, who spoke on carbon emissions in agriculture and what that can mean going forward if climate change legislation is codified here in the U.S. that limits carbon emitted by the agriculture industry.
Agriculture is considered to produce 20% of the total carbon emissions worldwide. So our industry, while we don't think of it being a major energy producer, it plays a major role in the total emissions that go to that build up carbon in the atmosphere. So you can't produce 20% of the potential footprint without it having, if anything that's legislated about the emissions are going to impact the farmers.
Torbert says that farmers should be thinking of this going forward because if climate change action is put into law, it would certainly impact their operations as they'd be tied to carbon caps and credits.
If you're an industry and you want to expand or you have more business this year and you're going to exceed that cap, the only way you can do it is to buy carbon somebody else has either sequestered or has not submitted, or they have reduced their productions, and so they have carbon credits that they can sell, and then you can increase your carbon emissions by buying their offsets, and so that's what they call cap and trade. So the carbon is capped. If you want to exceed that level, then you have to trade somebody else for the carbon to allow you to do that.
Reporting in Panama City Beach for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
John, thanks so much. Before we go, a friendly reminder that for everything and anything dealing with Georgia agriculture, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.